keep hearing a lot of comparisons between Deni Avdija and Luka Doncic. I'm not sure why this is happening or why it continues to perpetuate, but that's a real stretch. At this point in Doncic's career, it is an insult to compare him with someone about to be drafted. We need to start talking about Doncic with the likes of some of the game's all-time greats. And no, I don't think that's crazy talk. And to say that you're insistent on comparing Avdija to Doncic, now you're claiming Deni will develop into one of the NBA's all-time greats? I get it, we all get excited for the young draft picks and feel the need to compare, but this is an irresponsible comparison that taints exercises like this. Comparisons between Luka Doncic and Deni Avdija are just detrimental to both. Are people comparing them because they're both from Europe? It's not fair to either party. The comparison isn't fair to Doncic due to all the amazing things he has done for the sport of basketball at such a young age, while the comparison only hurts Avdija because to expect that he would be even close to Doncic's level in the best league in the world, especially in his first couple of seasons, is just a massive exaggeration. But before we jump into who Deni Avdija should really be compared to, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. Now let's dive in a bit deeper. So, as much as I just railed on comparing these two, however, there are still a few similarities between them. Doncic's development has been much faster and received the keys to Real Madrid when he was just a 17-year-old from coach Pablo Lasso. Avdija only began getting significant recognition and run in the EuroLeague with Maccabi Tel Aviv when he was a 19-year-old. Doncic became the best player in EuroLeague before he turned 18, and the Israeli superstar was really never in that position. Therefore, these comparisons are both unnecessary and detrimental to both players, as well as an unfairness to Avdija. Doncic is Doncic, and Deni, as Avdija has said on so many occasions, just wants to be Deni. Avdija wants to be special in his own way and not be compared to any other player, and I believe fair is fair. In any case, Doncic's success in North America does help Avdija to some extent. NBA teams won't want to miss out on the next European star in the draft, especially after what has happened to Doncic. Therefore, Avdija has a chance to be selected very high up in the draft. There is no room for mistakes at the top of the 2020 NBA draft, and all of the Esbergs who massively underestimated Doncic 2 years ago still resonate strongly. Let's just zoom out and take a good look at some of Deni's strengths and weaknesses and see who he really compares to. Deni has the ability to pass in transition and out of the pick and roll with a variety of passes. The young man can also serve as a hub on offense out of the high post, as he has above average first step and uses his strength to finish strong through contact with the rim. That strength and toughness helps him stand his ground when guarding bigger players and battle for positions in the post. Avdija is a smart help side defender who uses his length at 6 foot 9 inches to protect the rim, which he averages 1.2 blocks per 40 minutes. He is also a good rebounder and can grab rebounds in key situations. Deni has a 21.7% defensive rebound rate, and the Israeli superstar has a high basketball IQ and is super competitive. As far as where he can improve, despite the improvement on his jumper, the shooting numbers are still worrisome. There's not much of a correlation of players going from a 50% free throw shooter to a reliable shooter. He lacks the lateral quickness necessary to stay in front of typical perimeter starters in the NBA or fight over screens. He doesn't have high-end athleticism, so he will have to rely on his developing handle to create space and ball skills to make plays. With all of that being said, it's hard to see him being a franchise changer or leader. Deni is more of a secondary to third player on a team at best. Definitely a nice piece, but not a centerpiece, which is why people need to slow down on the Luka comparisons. So who can we appropriately compare Deni to? Well, at best, I think Deni Avdija could end up being or having shades of a Danilo Gallinari, Hero Turkoglu, or a Dario Saric type of player, who are and were really nice and I liked a lot. Or he could be a poor man's Toni Kukoc, which would be a third to fourth best player and a strong bench player for a championship team. I think these comparisons work both in terms of his style of play and his potential. Deni is the type of player that needs stronger players around him, and what's most vital is that there is a system that he can flawlessly fit into. So unless your franchise has a strong system with a star or two to build around him, don't expect him to be a star. Like all draft prospects, it's tough to project exactly how good Avdija is going to be. However, considering his raw talent and the fact that he played in Europe instead of college makes it even more difficult. What other lesson have we learned about not comparing Avdiya's game to Luka's? We learned that it's about time that instead of comparing Doncic to Avdiya, it's better that everyone begin comparing Luka to the likes of some of the greats such as Jordan, Kobe, Dirk, Wade, etc. What are your thoughts? Who would you compare Denny to? Let us know down below in the comments.